I found the text by accident. My fiancé Marcus left his phone on the kitchen counter while he showered. It buzzed. I glanced at the screen. Andrea. Just think about what I said. She can't cook, can't clean, can't be a real wife. You deserve someone who knows how to take care of a home. Someone like the women in our family. Not her. Andrea, my sister, texting my fiancé. About me. I scrolled up, found weeks of messages, her questioning whether I was wife material, him defending me at first, then his responses getting shorter, less certain. That was April 2021. Marcus broke off our engagement 2 weeks later, said he needed someone more traditional. I was devastated, humiliated, and I knew exactly who planted those doubts. I cut Andrea off completely. 3 years of silence. Last month, she showed up at my apartment, crying, divorce papers in one hand, a manila envelope in the other. Olivia, I need to show you something. It's about all my marriages, all 3 of them. I hired a private detective to figure out why they kept failing, and what he found. Her voice broke. What he found proves I've been sabotaging everyone, including you, especially you. What that detective report revealed destroyed her, and what I discovered she'd done to every relationship in her life, I never saw it coming. If you've ever had someone sabotage your relationship while pretending to care about you, stay with me until the end. Your support means everything to me. Hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments. Has a family member ever interfered in your love life? Let's talk about it. Now back to my story. Let me take you back. April 2021. My name is Olivia. I was 29 years old, living in Boston, Massachusetts, working as a software engineer at a tech company, making $115,000 a year. I'd been dating Marcus Williams for 2 years. He was a corporate lawyer, smart, kind, supportive. We got engaged on my 29th birthday, small proposal at home, nothing fancy, but perfect. My family was happy for me, or so I thought. My older sister Andrea was 34. She'd been married twice already. First marriage lasted 3 years. Second marriage lasted 2 years. Both ended in divorce. She was currently married to husband number 3, a finance guy named Richard. Andrea had always been the traditional one. She didn't work. Both her marriages, she'd been a housewife, cooked elaborate meals, kept immaculate homes. Her entire identity was being a wife. She'd always made comments about my career, my lifestyle, my choices. Don't you want to learn to cook properly? Men like home-cooked meals. Your apartment is always messy. What will Marcus think? Career women struggle in marriage. Men want wives, not colleagues. I ignored her. Marcus loved me exactly as I was. He cooked, I cleaned. We split everything. Modern partnership, equal. But that April day, everything changed. Marcus had come over for dinner. I'd ordered Thai food. We were watching a movie. He went to shower, left his phone on the counter. It buzzed. I glanced over, saw Andrea's name, and that message. My hands shook as I opened the thread, scrolled up, started reading. Andrea, March 15th. Hey Marcus, how's the wedding planning going? Marcus. Good. Olivia's excited. So am I. Andrea. That's great. I'm so happy for you both. Can I ask you something? Sister to future brother-in-law? Marcus. Sure. Andrea. Has Olivia talked to you about household responsibilities, like cooking, cleaning, that kind of thing? Marcus. We split everything. Why? Andrea. I'm just worried. Olivia never learned traditional wife skills. Our mom tried to teach her, but she was always more interested in computers. I just want to make sure you know what you're getting into. Marcus. I don't need a traditional wife. I need a partner. Andrea. Of course. But be honest. Don't you sometimes wish you could come home to a hot meal, a clean house, someone who makes being a wife their priority? Marcus. That's old-fashioned thinking. Andrea. Maybe. But my marriages work because I make my husband my priority. Olivia makes her career her priority. Just something to think about. The messages continued, day after day. Andrea slowly planting seeds of doubt. She'd send him articles about how career women have higher divorce rates, photos of elaborate meals she'd cooked for Richard, comments about how real wives put their husbands first. And slowly, I watched Marcus's responses change, from defending me to asking questions to expressing concerns. Marcus, April 2nd. Does Olivia even know how to cook a full meal? Andrea. Not really. She can heat things up, but cooking from scratch? I've never seen her do it. Marcus. What about cleaning? Andrea. She hires a cleaning service, twice a month. She says she's too busy with work. Marcus. I guess I never thought about it. I assumed we'd figure it out together. Andrea. You will, but marriage is hard, Marcus. It's easier when the wife knows her role. Just my experience. I stood there, phone in hand, rage building. My sister had been systematically undermining my relationship for weeks. I confronted Marcus when he got out of the shower. Why is my sister texting you about whether I can cook? His face went white. You looked at my phone? It buzzed. I saw her message. Then I read the rest. Marcus, she's been messaging you for weeks, telling you I'm not wife material, and you've been listening. She's just concerned. She's manipulating you, can't you see that? She's planting doubts about me, about us. She raised some valid points. Valid points? That I can't cook? That I hire a cleaning service? That I prioritize my career? Those are problems for you? I didn't say they were problems, but I never thought about it before. About what kind of wife you'd be. What kind of wife? Marcus, we're partners, equals. That's what we agreed on. I know, but Andrea made me think about long term. About kids, about traditional roles, and I started wondering if maybe we're too different. We weren't too different 2 weeks ago, before Andrea got in your head. She didn't get in my head. Yes, she did. That's exactly what she did. And you let her. We fought for hours. He kept saying Andrea was just trying to help. I kept saying she was sabotaging us. We couldn't get past it. 2 weeks later, Marcus ended it. I need someone more traditional, someone who wants to be a wife, not just a partner. I'm sorry, Olivia, but I don't think we're compatible long term. I moved out of the apartment we'd been planning to share, moved in with a friend temporarily, cried for weeks, and I cut Andrea off, completely, blocked her number, blocked her on everything, told my parents I didn't want to hear her name. Mom tried to defend her. Andrea was just sharing her experience. She didn't mean to hurt you. She texted my fiancé for weeks telling him I wasn't good enough. That's not sharing experience, that's sabotage. You're being dramatic. I'm being realistic. She destroyed my engagement, and I'm done with her. I threw myself into work. Got promoted. Senior software engineer, $135,000. Bought my own condo. Dated casually. Built a life without her. Without Marcus. Without anyone who thought I needed to be traditional to be valuable. 3 years passed. I was happy, successful, dating someone new, Ethan, another engineer, someone who valued my career, my independence, my choices. Then, last month, Andrea showed up. I was home on a Saturday afternoon, working on a personal coding project. Doorbell rang. I opened it. Andrea stood there. She looked terrible. Older than 37, exhausted, holding divorce papers and a manila envelope. Olivia, please, I need to talk to you. No. Please, it's important. It's about Marcus, about my marriages, about everything. I was wrong, so wrong, and I need you to know the truth. Against my better judgment, I let her in. She collapsed on my couch, hands shaking. Richard and I are getting divorced. That's the third one. 3 marriages. All failed, and I didn't understand why. I thought I was doing everything right, being the perfect wife. But they all left anyway. Why are you telling me this? Because I hired a private detective to investigate Richard, to see if he was cheating, if there was another woman, something to explain why he wanted to leave. Was there? No, but the detective found something else. Something about all my marriages, and about what I did to you. She opened the manila envelope, pulled out a thick report. The detective did a full background investigation, interviewed Richard's friends, his co-workers, his ex-girlfriend, and they all said the same thing, which was that I was suffocating, controlling, obsessive, that I made being a wife my entire identity to the point where I had no personality left, that I drove them away by trying too hard to be perfect. I read through the report, testimony from Richard's best friend. Andrea couldn't let Richard breathe. Everything was about her being the perfect wife, perfect meals, perfect house, but zero personality, zero interest, just wife, wife, wife. It was exhausting. Testimony from Richard's coworker. He said she'd call him multiple times a day asking what he wanted for dinner, what time he'd be home, whether his coworkers mentioned her. It was like she couldn't exist without him validating her role as wife. Testimony from Richard's sister. She had no friends, no hobbies, no life outside being Richard's wife. When he suggested she get a hobby or job, she'd cry and say she was failing as a wife. It was too much pressure. "I don't understand what this has to do with me," I said. The detective did more digging. He found my text messages with Marcus, all of them. I'd forgotten they were backed up to the cloud. He pulled them, read them, and he said, she started crying. He said I sabotaged your relationship because I was jealous. Jealous of what? Of you, of your career, your independence, your ability to have an identity outside of being someone's wife. Marcus loved you for who you were. My husbands loved me for what I could do for them. And when I couldn't do enough, they left. She pulled out more pages. The detective interviewed people from my first 2 marriages, too. Found a pattern. First husband's sister. Andrea made my brother her entire world. He felt guilty whenever he wanted time with friends. She'd make comments about how wives should come first, how she'd given up everything for him. It was manipulative. Second husband's friend. She love-bombed him at first. Perfect meals, perfect house. But then she started criticizing other women, women with careers, women who weren't traditional. She'd make him feel guilty for appreciating any woman who wasn't a housewife. It was toxic. Why are you showing me this? Because the detective found something else, something I'd completely forgotten about, or maybe I'd blocked it out. She pulled out printed screenshots, text messages between her and Marcus that I'd never seen. Andrea, April 10th, 2021. I'm worried Olivia will end up like me after my first divorce, alone, wondering what went wrong. She needs to learn to be a real wife before it's too late. Marcus. What do you mean, like you after your first divorce? Andrea. I was too independent at first, too focused on myself. It destroyed my marriage. I had to learn to be selfless, to make being a wife my priority. Olivia hasn't learned that yet, and I'm afraid she'll lose you because of it. Marcus. I don't want her to lose herself, though. Andrea. She won't. She'll just become a better version of herself, the version that can keep a man happy. I stared at the messages. You told him I'd end up divorced if I didn't change. I believed it. I genuinely believed that. The detective says it's called projection. I was projecting my own failures onto you, and I convinced Marcus that my way was the right way, the only way. You destroyed my engagement. I know. And the detective found more. He tracked down Marcus, interviewed him. Marcus talked to your detective? Apparently Marcus has regrets, a lot of them. The detective recorded the conversation. Do you want to hear it? She pulled out her phone, played an audio file. Detective. Can you tell me about your relationship with Olivia? Marcus. We were engaged. I broke it off. Biggest mistake of my life. Detective. Why did you break it off? Marcus. Her sister convinced me Olivia wasn't wife material, that she was too career-focused, that I needed someone traditional. I listened, and I lost the best thing that ever happened to me. Detective. Do you blame Andrea? Marcus. I blame myself for listening. But yes, I blame her too. She manipulated me, made me doubt Olivia, planted insecurity. And I was stupid enough to believe her. Detective. Have you tried to reconnect with Olivia? Marcus. I tried a year ago. She wouldn't respond. I don't blame her. I chose Andrea's toxic advice over the woman I loved. I deserve to lose her." Andrea turned off the recording. "The detective says I have a pattern. I sabotage other women's relationships because I can't stand seeing them succeed where I failed. I see a happy couple with a career woman, and I have to destroy it. To prove my way is right. Why are you telling me all this? Because I need you to know I'm sorry, really sorry, and because the detective said something that woke me up." "Which was?" "He said, 'You destroyed your sister's relationship because you couldn't accept that there are multiple ways to be a wife. Or that some women don't need to be wives at all to be happy. You made being a wife your entire personality, and when that wasn't enough, you tried to drag everyone else down to your level.'" She looked at me with desperate eyes. "He's right. I made being a wife my identity, and when that identity wasn't enough to keep a husband, I panicked. I needed to believe my way was right, so I sabotaged you, to prove that career women fail at marriage, to prove that traditional wives are better. But you're on divorce number 3, so clearly being traditional isn't the secret either." "Exactly. The detective says I need therapy, that I have a personality disorder, something about making others feel inadequate to boost my own self-worth. He gave me referrals, recommended I get help before I destroy anyone else's life. You should take his advice." "I am. I'm starting therapy next week, but I needed to apologize first, to show you the report, to let you know that none of this was your fault. Marcus leaving wasn't because you can't cook or clean. It was because I manipulated him into doubting you, and I'm so sorry." I sat there, processing 3 years of anger, of wondering if Marcus was right, if I was too career-focused, too modern, too independent. And now I knew the truth. I was never the problem. Andrea's insecurity was the problem. "Does Marcus know about this report?" "Not yet, but the detective recommended I send it to him, so he knows what I did, so he understands why he lost you. Do you want me to?" "No. What's done is done. Marcus made his choice. He could have trusted me, defended me, but he chose to believe your poison instead. That's on him, not just you." "He really does regret it. The detective said Marcus seemed broken when talking about you. That's his burden to carry, not mine." Andrea nodded, stood up. "I'll leave you alone now. I just wanted you to know the truth, and to say I'm sorry. For everything. For ruining your engagement. For years of making you feel like you weren't good enough. For projecting my failures onto you." "Andrea, can I ask you something?" "Anything." "Why did you make being a wife your entire identity?" She thought for a moment. "Because I didn't know who I was without it. I didn't go to college. I didn't have a career. I didn't have passions or hobbies. So I became wife. That was my thing, my purpose. And when that wasn't enough, I had nothing left." "That sounds lonely." "It is. Incredibly lonely. And now I'm 37, 3 times divorced, and I have to figure out who I am for the first time in my life. The detective said that's what therapy will help with, finding an identity that isn't dependent on a man." "I hope you find it." She looked surprised. "Really?" "Really. Not for you, but for the next woman whose relationship you might sabotage if you don't fix this." She nodded, left, closed the door quietly behind her. The next day, I got a text from an unknown number. "Olivia, it's Marcus. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but Andrea's detective contacted me, told me about the report, about what she did, about the investigation. I need you to know that I'm sorry. So sorry. I should have trusted you, should have defended you. I let her poison our relationship, and I'll regret it for the rest of my life. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I needed you to know. Marcus." I stared at the message. Part of me wanted to respond, to tell him it was okay, that I understood. But I didn't, because it wasn't okay. He'd chosen to believe Andrea over me, chosen to doubt me instead of communicating with me. That was his choice. And choices have consequences. I deleted the message, blocked the number, moved on. 2 weeks later, my mom called. "Andrea told me everything, about the detective, about what she did to you and Marcus. Olivia, I'm so sorry. I should have believed you when you said she sabotaged you. Yes, you should have. Will you forgive her? Eventually. Maybe. But not now. She needs to fix herself first. Become a person outside of being someone's wife. Then maybe we can rebuild. That's fair. Last week, Andrea texted me. Started therapy, learning a lot. Turns out I have codependency issues and something called comparative suffering syndrome. Basically, I can't stand seeing others succeed where I failed, so I sabotage them. I'm working on it. Thanks for giving me a chance to explain. Even if you never forgive me, at least you know the truth. I didn't respond, but I didn't block her either. Maybe someday we'd rebuild, but not today. As for me, Ethan proposed last month. Small proposal at home, nothing fancy, but perfect. I said yes, and this time no one's opinion matters but ours. We're planning a wedding. Simple, intimate, just people who actually support us. Andrea's not invited, not because I'm cruel, but because I'm protecting my relationship, my happiness, my peace. Maybe after she's been in therapy for a year, after she's built an identity outside of being someone's wife, after she's proven she can be happy for others instead of sabotaging them. Maybe then, but not now. I'm Olivia. I'm 32 years old. 3 years ago, my sister told my fiancé I couldn't cook, clean, or be a real wife. He believed her, broke off our engagement. I was devastated, humiliated, and I knew exactly who was responsible. After her third divorce, Andrea showed up with a private detective report. Proof that she'd sabotaged my relationship out of jealousy, that she'd manipulated Marcus because she couldn't stand seeing me succeed where she kept failing. The report revealed everything. Her pattern of sabotage, her identity crisis, her codependency, her projection, her toxicity. Marcus reached out, apologized, said breaking up with me was the biggest mistake of his life. I didn't respond, because some mistakes can't be fixed, some choices can't be undone. He had his chance to trust me, to defend me. He chose doubt instead. Andrea is in therapy now, working on herself, trying to become a person instead of just a role. I hope she succeeds, not for me, but for her, and for anyone else who might cross her path. As for me, I'm engaged again, to someone who loves my career, my independence, my lack of cooking skills, who thinks hiring a cleaning service is smart, not shameful, who values partnership over traditional roles. This time, no one's getting between us. No toxic sisters, no planted doubts, no sabotage, just two people who chose each other, exactly as we are. My sister tried to convince my fiancé I wasn't wife material. Turned out I wasn't wife material for someone who valued tradition over trust, conformity over compatibility, other people's opinions over his own partner. And that's fine, because I found someone better, someone who sees me, chooses me, values me, not despite my career and independence, but because of them. Andrea spent 3 marriages trying to be the perfect traditional wife, and lost them all anyway. Maybe being perfect isn't the goal. Maybe being real is. And I'd rather be real and happy than perfect and alone. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support truly means the world to me, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I love reading every single one of them. Each comment inspires me to keep creating stories for you. See you next time.